Hello world and welcome to Synergy Cricket Podcast. My name is Sumit. As we promised, this is our first episode. We had our introductory video on my birthday when I turned 40, and today is our first official episode, and I'm going to be the guest today. I'm going to share my cricket journey, story, all the ups and downs, and the last 25 years of how cricket has gone, and where cricket was, where it's going, and where it currently is. And as we mentioned, we have one vision for this podcast, and our vision is that through our podcast and through cricket, what are life lessons that we can learn and adapt to other aspects of life. This is going to be our core principle and our core values and our mission for Synergy Cricket Podcast. So I'm really excited and looking forward to all the guests that are going to come to the podcast. And today is also another special day because this is my wife Mira, and I left cricket 10 years ago, and it's only been a couple of years since I've come back. And the reason I've come back into cricket is because of Mira, my wife. So she's going to be the host for this first episode, and then after the first episode, I'm going to take over and be the host, and bringing guests onto the show. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Nagar, for letting me be your first host.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So what inspired you to start this podcast?
What inspired me to start this podcast? I grew up playing cricket, crazy about cricket. Cricket is my first love. Which when we met for the first time, I said my first love is cricket.
Yeah,
You didn't
true.
quite like it, but you kind of, now you know how much I love cricket. I think I left cricket 10 years ago, 10 to 12 years ago, and it's been a couple of years since coming back into cricket. But the gap that I had for 10 years, after not making it professionally, usually with club cricket, you kind of just, normal life would be like start working, earning money, building your career. So I think I probably left cricket at the age of like 26 or 27.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a good solid 10 years. However, in that 10 years, you could say I was in like I went through a bit of a tough time, 10 years. I was lost. I was in discovery phase. I was living in denial, or I was doing something which I was perceived that I should follow, like money, chasing money, just like, spending my time, effort, and energy on doing the things which actually was not giving me energy. And my life was just very tough for 10 years. And then the last 5 to 6 years has probably been even more tougher. Getting into corporate world and trying to build a career, and then realizing that the real world is not all hunky-dory. Started to learn about people and the things that happen at work. Relationships not going well. So just overall a combination of things which were not going well. And then you came into my life, and I think one of the biggest reasons I'm starting this podcast is yourself. I'd say I'd give a little bit of credit to you, not directly but indirectly, because you got me back into cricket, something which I love, something which is my first love as a kid, and something which I grew up my childhood with. And then as we were discovering, when we were together in our relationship, we were dating and getting to know each other, we were almost like kind of discovering our life purpose.
Yep.
And our life vision and mission, and we just discussing about all those things. And then suddenly we had like this moment of clarity, and over time, over loads of discussions, we realized, both of us, especially me, that a lot of my life questions which I was asking were being answered by cricket. So stuff like, you know, how to live your life, where should I earn my money, where am I happy? That was the biggest one. I feel like when I was on the cricket field, when I went back into cricket, I was a lot more happier. I was more energetic. I was more positive. So that is the reason for starting the podcast, because I left something which I love from a young age, and I left it for 10 years ago, which set me on a journey of life and discovering loads of different experiences and realizing what the real world was like, and also becoming fully aware of myself, and then meeting you, going back into cricket again. And I wasn't in a good state when we met, and then cricket kind of helped me answer all those questions and gave me loads of clarity. And I remember, like, when I used to go batting and have a one-to-one session with my coach, and then do you remember I used to say that, what should I do about this? I'm stuck here, or this bit is annoying me, or this is frustrating. What shall we do about this? Like, almost like we had these problems, but I was not able to find solutions. But then I used to call you after a cricket net session and say, Mira, I've got the answer. So for me, going back into cricket and then immersing myself into cricket again, it was helping me answer questions in other aspects of life. And that's the main reason why I started this podcast.
Give yourself credit as well, because you pursued this cricket again into your life. So that's the most important reason. Yeah. And it'll be nice if you can share your cricket journey. And
yeah, so my cricket started a little bit differently, actually. We moved here in 1992 in England. We were actually originally from Africa, my father and grandmother. My grandmother moved first, then my father came, and then the whole family came. And usually in a typical Gujarati Asian household, or a typical Asian household, is it's either cricket or Bollywood.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, I mean, for me, it was cricket growing up. I was also into Bollywood as well. I was into acting and all those things, but I think I fell in love with cricket more. But I have a fond memory. I remember, like, what actually really got me into cricket was the Sri Lankan spinner Muttiah Muridharan. I was watching a match. I think my dad was watching a match, India v Sri Lanka, and then all I see is on the TV is the ball being thrown to Muridharan, and then Muridharan comes to the ball and he has this weird and wonderful action. And I was just like amazed by it. And then I decided to just copy him, and I was able to copy Muridharan. I was bowling like him. And even when I was a kid, I think this was when I was like 11. And then I started to bowl like him, and I was able to turn the ball so much, and I was getting a lot of wickets as a kid, right? And then when you're young, you don't really get spotted as much. In Leicester, the way it was back then was that throughout the year, there would be like 1 or 2 trials, and then you would go to these trials, you get put into groups, and then there was like around 3 nets in Leicestershire, I remember. And yeah, they just put you in a net and you just bat and bowl, and then you keep rotating. And then when I come to bowl, I started to bowl like Muridharan and turning the ball a lot. So the coaches got very curious. They're like, oh wow, this is different, this is unique. And this was also at a time when Muridharan was also being questioned for chucking the ball. So then the coaches took me to the side net and they asked me to bowl, and they just stood there and watched me bowl, I think to check my action and everything, to make sure I don't chuck it. And after like good 10 minutes, and at the time when they took me to the side net, that's when I got really excited. I was like, oh wow, this is brilliant. There's something about me now, I'm in. But then after 10 minutes, that was my first life rejection. They dismissed me of chucking the ball, and then that kind of just lowered my confidence and dropped my self-esteem all the way down. And then when I was bowling, I was still batting a little bit, but I wasn't taking batting as seriously as I was bowling. But after that, after the coach is telling me you're chucking the ball and dismissing me of chucking the ball and being rejected to get a chance, or even the ability to maybe progress me forward at a higher level, I stopped the bowling and I picked up the bat. I got more serious with batting, and then, as you know, like with batting is when you're a big fan of Asian household, back then Sachin Tendulkar was God. He was the master blaster, and everybody just wanted to try and bat like Sachin. So then I stopped bowling and I picked up the bat. That was how my journey and story began.
Cricket match is memorable for you.
2011 World Cup, MS Dhoni. After 28 years, you win the World Cup. That's gotta be the most memorable match for me. That's and MS Dhoni is my hero. Actually, he is the person that I admire. I love the most, more than Sachin and Virat Kohli, Joe Root, Kane Williamson, like more than all the great cricketers out there. I feel like for me, MS Dhoni is like the epitome of a legend. That's probably the most memorable match for me.
Okay, you like MS Dhoni because of his character or because he's playing well in
Both.
cricket?
Both. I feel like he was MS Dhoni. For me, if I had to sum up MS Dhoni, I feel like what he was really good at was taking risks and know when to take risks. But at the same time, he's also very calculative. So he was a great mastermind and a captain on the field. At the same time, he had this ability of winning games right in the last second over, last over. He would take it so deep. So that requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of composure. Because a lot of the times, at least 15, 20 years ago, batsmen would mostly get out under pressure a lot. Because they would know that, okay, we've got to get all these runs and we've only got this much overs or this much balls to play and the wicket's not that great and whatever. And so all those variables put so much pressure on a batsman and they would kind of get into a rush. It's almost like I see it all the time, even when in club cricket, when you're chasing, there's always an element of let's try and get ahead of the run chase. Whereas Mahendra Dhoni didn't do that. He was very calculative. He knew exactly what to do. He knew how much overs and time they had left. And he would take it all the way till the end, which you need a lot of composure with. And you need to be very strategical. But at the same time, you have to handle pressure very well. So Mahendra Singh Dhoni, not just as a player or as a captain, as a batsman, but also off the field as well. Off the field, he's a very humble guy, full of humility, and his persona, his character. That's the reason why for me, MS Dhoni is like the all-time legend. And also, like, he's a game changer in his life. He's created history. India winning the World Cup after 28 years, not just the World Cup, T20 World Cup in 2007, and then going on to be great, the most toughest test team to beat, and then going on to win almost 6 IPL titles for Chennai. There's just so many things about Dhoni. And a lot of people say that he can only win games with the best players. No, in IPL, he's won titles not with the best team. So it just shows, like, for me, MS Dhoni is in my eyes the idol.
Yeah, it's not about just a game, it's about the leadership as well. So I guess you are inspired by his leadership as well.
That's
Because
right. He's a true leader, and he knows how to
yeah,
balance. He knows how to balance risk with strategy, with calculations of the game, and then also his character, personality off the field and on the field is just like always giving more than 100%. And yeah, you're right. You're right. It's he's a leader.
and what did you do after not making in cricket?
Usually, well, what I did was is just continue to play cricket at club level. Gave my best every match, every practice, every net session, and I always had that drive, determination, and just commitment to be the best and learn something every single day. Yeah, and then you get to an age around one of the things which is there's a thought process back then. I don't know what it is now. Is that if you don't make it at a decent level from let's say the age of 18, 19, or even 2021, then that's it. Cricket is over for you. It's over for club cricketers. You're just an average cricketer, just playing cricket recreationally and just as an interest and a hobby. But now I look back and I think actually that was an incorrect thought process, because now you see there are cricketers still playing cricket at the age of 28, 29, 30, 31. Just recently there was I don't know what, I think it's for Oman. There's a match, T20 match, and there was a 42-year-old making his debut and hit 50. So, I think that was a thought process back then, is that if you're not the best of the best when you're young, then forget it. You got no life in cricket. There's nothing in cricket. So it was almost like if you don't make it in the top 1% of cricketers, then you're nothing. But for me, I love cricket so much. I really, really love cricket so much. And it was something which was quite close to my heart. And maybe now I look back and I think this could have been out of denial of not making it as a professional cricketer. Is I went into the field of sport, health and fitness. I became a sports therapist, strength and conditioning coach, and then transitioned into personal training, fitness instructing, yoga, meditation, Pilates, nutrition, and that's what I did. If I couldn't be a cricketer, I'm going to work with athletes. And I think now I look back and I think maybe that those choices were out of denial. And working with athletes and being a coach and being a professional cricketer is black and white. It's totally two different things. So that's what I did after not making it from a young age. And then, as I mentioned earlier, in an Asian household, it's either cricket or Bollywood. And then I slowly started to also drift into acting.
Okay.
So cricket was there, just I was still playing it because I loved it, but I had given up of making it a higher level. And I drifted slowly into acting. I went to Mumbai for 3.5 years to be an actor. As you can see, it went down very well. That was a failure in my life. But I'm glad. Now I look back. Before I used to look back with regret. But I've learned so much. I've learned so much from it. And like I said, when cricket came back into my life, it kind of helped me become aware of so many things which I wasn't aware of when I was young, and all the choices and all the decisions and why I made those choices and decisions. So yeah, now you could almost say like it's like in a test match, batsman gets 2 chances, first innings, second innings. First innings didn't go as planned, as I wanted, but now it's like I've got a second innings, and now going back into cricket, I look at it cricket in a different way.
In club cricket, what kind of players and environment, can you explain a little bit for us? it's like in terms of like players, how quality players you can find out into the club cricket in UK, because I believe that in UK there is a short term period you can play the cricket, yeah, because of the weather. So some people struggle to practice and stuff, maybe.
I think that's one of the biggest problems you mentioned in England at club level, is that during the off season you literally can't play any cricket.
Yeah.
You can only play indoors, practice in the nets. That's the only thing you can do. So usually, like in club cricket, it's almost like you practice off season, and off season doesn't start until, like, people don't start going into nets until like January. So it's not like the season is finished and then immediately continue the practice in the nets. It's difficult here in UK, especially club level, because there are so many variables that determine that. Number one is that everybody has lives; they have to work, feed themselves, pay for the house. If they've got a family, children, then they've got to obviously look after them as well. All those other commitments kind of move them away from continue to play cricket. So then what happens usually is, at club level, it becomes more of a hobby or a recreational sport, where it's just, you can see at club level, like, cricketers love cricket,
Yeah.
but you can also see that because of other things, they just play it to get away from life, or they want to make sure that during the week they've got something to look forward to. So yeah, weather's a big thing, and resources. In England, things are very expensive, and having access to facilities is not that easy. And even if there is access, and I believe now there's a lot more accessibility with nets, indoor nets, it's very expensive. To practice cricket like 2, 3, 4 hours a day, you need a lot of money for that. And I think that's what the biggest challenge is with club cricket. And then especially when you get to like the age of like 21, 24, or like mid-20s and late 20s, other priorities really take over. So then imagine if you have other priorities and responsibilities, and then you have limited resources and facilities, and you don't have good weather, it becomes very difficult for you to continue to practice at the same intensity or the amount of hours, the volume of cricket. Whereas in Asia, I don't know what it's like in Australia, New Zealand, but in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, the weather is great all year round, and the volume of people play cricket is so much, and that's the major difference. So yeah.
Okay. So if you're gonna get chance to change anything in club cricket, or something can add, so what that particular thing will be?
If I could change something in club cricket,
yeah. Or something add. You don't want to change it, but you want to add something in.
I think adding, changing wise, not adding will bring a change. I think what I would like to add is, I'd say, definitely something in off season. So for example, like with football and rugby, sports like that, obviously weather plays a big role. But you see a lot of footballers, rugby players, and some other sports as well, where even in the off season they're still practicing, they're still playing. So what I'd like to see at club cricket is actually a lot of club cricketers take their fitness seriously, actually go to net sessions instead of once a week. Practice in the nets at least 2-3 times a week. That's what I would like to see. That's the change I would like to see, because what you see a big difference between international, national, like I say county level, and then club cricket, there is a massive difference in the level of fitness and athleticism. And one of the reasons why is because obviously if you don't make it at a high level, people's other responsibilities take over. So they don't really also have time to look after their health, fitness, and keep that intensity up. So I would like to see, because what that will do is if you have club cricketers who are now following a strength and conditioning program in the off season, looking after their health, keeping their fitness intensity up, then the level of club cricket will also be more intensive, more intensified. The competition will become even more fierce because now there are a lot more people who are fitter, healthier, and they're also practicing a bit more during the off season. So the level of cricket and the skill of cricket would increase in England. So that's that's the change I would like to make.
Okay.
I'd like to add on to that. There are other things as well, but I'd like to add
This
that
is
as well. But I'd like to add.
This is important because physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health is very important in terms of life, in terms of anything you do. So.
And also, I think the other thing I would like to add in club cricket is a lot more matches. The biggest difference between county players, international players, and club players is the number of matches they play. So during in season, seeing a lot of club cricketers play more matches, getting more exposure to real cricket match experience is going to be a massive. That's going to just level up cricket so much. So a way for cricketers to play more matches during in season, even in season, like most average club cricketers would only play a Saturday. And very rarely a Sunday. You have a Saturday team, which is the main, and then you have a Sunday team. So having more matches during in season is really, really going to have more competitions, more leagues. That will see the increase in popularity of the game itself. The reason why I say this is because cricket, whenever I have a conversation about cricket with somebody who's not watched cricket or played cricket, I always say to them, if you know nothing about cricket and you watch the sport, you're not going to be interested because it can be very complex. There's too many rules, too many regulations, too many things to learn. There's a lot of things going on. So the best way to know about cricket, the best way to actually realize the art of the game and how much skill is required, is to actually play the game.
That's true, very true.
Whereas football in rugby is, you can watch football on TV and it'd be quite interesting because it's very simple. 2 teams, 1 ball, you got to score a goal either side. Whereas with cricket, there's a lot more than that. So if somebody's new to cricket and never watched cricket, or you don't know anything about cricket, the best way is to actually play the game, play cricket. That's the beauty about cricket, is that you don't always win through just one strategy. And plus with cricket is, when you play cricket in different countries, I haven't anyway, I've played in India, but when you play cricket in different parts of the world, you're playing against different wickets, so the ball is doing different things, weather conditions are different, so therefore you have to learn adaptability. And these things have a massive transfer effect of life.
So if anybody wants to go into cricket further, it's like, for example, if anybody is a club cricketer at the moment, but that person wants to pursue the county cricket, what areas they need to work on?
That's a very good question. I would say I can only look back at my experience and know what I would have changed. So number 1 is definitely work with a coach, whether batting or bowling. Playing more games. get loads of games, and get a lot of hours in the nets. Whether you're a bowler or a batsman or a wicketkeeper, fielder, get a lot of practice and hours under your belt, because what that will do is, I can only speak as a batsman. Like, as a batsman, there's 15-20 years ago, the mentality was there was a lot of pressure on the batsman to perform well. So a lot of batsmen, mindset was a big thing, and the reason being is because in batting you only get one chance. Yes, you have drop catches and run-outs. They are not as rare as getting bowled or getting caught. So once you're out, that's it. That's your chance gone. So that creates so much pressure in your mind to perform well. So then batsmen are always playing under pressure, and they're always pushing themselves. They're trying as much as they can mentally. Now it's changed. The batting mentality has really changed, especially after T20 introduction of T20. Because before, the mentality was to not get out and to stay there for a long time. But now the mentality is shifted in batting. You know, the mentality has gone from, I need to make sure I don't get out. Well, how can I hit runs? Mm-hmm. Now that's the mentality. How can I score runs, rather than focusing on not to getting out? So yeah, I think getting more net practice, getting more hours under your belt, playing more games, it will eliminate the pressure you have in your mind as a batsman. And I remember one story one of my friends, cricket friends, told me is about Sachin Tendulkar. You won't know, but when Sachin was young, this is what his coach used to make him do. Mm-hmm. He would, in India, there's so many games happen, so many competitions, so many matches. So what Sachin's coach would do is he'd play a game at 8 in the morning, and the coach would say to Sachin, you're going to play a game here, you're going to finish this match. On the same day, after an hour, you're going to go and play the second match, and then finish the second match, and then on the same day, in the evening, you're going to play the third match.
Oh.
So basically, Sachin Tendulkar is playing 3 matches in a day, different times, different situations, different circumstances,
different field,
different players, different competition. So that's why Sachin is Sachin, because he's played so many games from a young age. So therefore, when you see him bat or when you see him play, you are more under pressure mentally watching Sachin bat. Whereas he is not, because he's had so much exposure with playing cricket matches. He's actually very relaxed, and that's the reason why he can actually hit. That's the reason why he's hit most of the runs and one of the best. He's a legend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can understand that.
So these are the things I would say as a club and fitness. These are 4 probably things I would say for a club cricketer who wants to make it county level. Is make sure your fitness is up to scratch every single day. Mm-hmm. Get more net practice during off season as much as you can. Get more exposure to more games, more situations, more scenarios, more circumstances, different players, different competition. And yeah, that's the yeah. I think there's only 3.
Yeah, the first one was hire coaches.
Yes, the first one was hire a coach. The reason why I say hire a coach is because in club cricket, what I used to do was just you kind of follow the herd. Or I used to just listen to the elders, the adults. So and the advice they would give you, you just take the advice, and the typical advice is, get forward, get the front foot forward, place with a straight bat. And now I realize that actually that's incorrect. That was incorrect because it wasn't really setting me up to play 360 degrees shots. And that's the reason why I was very good at playing offside, but I'm not as great as playing leg side, fine leg, cow corner, or square cuts or third man. So that's the reason why you want a coach. A coach is really gonna be able to. A good coach is really gonna be able to dissect your technique. Look at the areas for opportunity that you're missing out on. And also a coach is going to help you build a very relaxed and composed mindset. And when I hired the coach for the first time, this was after coming back into cricket. And thanks to him a lot. Greg Willows, he's played county cricket for Gloucestershire. Now he plays club cricket. He goes, I think he plays for Salby in the UK Leicestershire League, and then he goes to Australia, and I think he's signed on a different Australian club now. When I worked with him on a one-to-one basis, that season I had the highest runs. I scored around 530, 540 runs that season.
Wow.
And I learned so much stuff, like getting my head forward, which nobody taught me that from a young age. Nobody knew all that stuff, because actually, and I found it I found it surprising. So he said that actually, you want to take your head towards the ball, and this was a big eye opener for me, like in terms of technique wise, because the thing is, when you actually take your head towards the ball actually feels slower.
Yeah.
And from a young age, there's a lot of fear around fast bowling. But through the right technique and correct technique, you can play fast bowling comfortably. So if you don't know that, if you don't have that level of skills or technicalities, having a coach can help you with that. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Like balance, how to maintain your balance while batting, your head, the way the bat comes down, your feet movement, and then also what Greg was amazing at, and I have to give a lot of credit to him, is that he was very good as a mental batting coach as well. So a lot of club cricketers and people who just play club cricket, their focus is on how to play the shot or how to play it well. What Greg actually really helped me was that if you think about, in your mind, if you think about where the gaps are, then subconsciously now you'll hit the ball in the gap.
Okay.
And there's a strategy. So for example, with batting wise, there'll be a strategy. So if there's an off spinner and he's not turning the ball much, but the wicket is staying low, then what are the best shots I can play? So in my head, I'd be like, okay, if your ball's there, I can go over the top, I can play through that gap, or I can just place it for a single. So now I've got a plan, I've got a strategy, and I don't have to think of how to play the shot, or I don't have to think about the technique or anything. I'm thinking about runs, where I'm hitting, how can I score runs, and does that make sense? Like I'm planning and preparing. And that really helped me, because now, instead of thinking that I should be playing a shot perfectly, I'm thinking of how to score runs, where I can score runs, so that I'm naturally going to play that shot. So I have to give a lot of credit to Greg for that.
Oh wow.
That's the reason why you have to work with a coach. You don't have to, but it's very valuable to work with a coach, and it's a valuable investment, because that's the thing. That's the difference, working with a coach.
When you have experienced coach, you can get that advantage of that person's experience, isn't it? and that is important.
Very important, correct? That coach will give you experience, share their failures and success in what works, what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also what's important to note is that my first coach, which I had, was he's played at county level and he's played a lot of games and he's had a lot of hours in the nets.
Mm.
That's why he's at that level.
Yeah, that's true.
So it goes back to the questions which we said earlier. What can club cricketers do? Is get more hours in the nets, play more games, hire a coach, and like, this is the reason why.
Yeah.
And then you're more likely to perform well, and then you perform well. You never know. Like you can get spotted at club level if you hit 1,000 runs season after season, 1,500. I mean, I know Greg's hitting 2,000 runs in a season. So yeah, it's very valuable.
That's true. So if God will give you that rewind button into your hand, and if God is giving you that moment, just imagine that you have that rewind button in your life. So what will you change in your life, in a past life? In terms of cricket.
Good question.
Yeah.
What I would change, I want to tell you an interesting story.
Okay.
So, which I did mention earlier, is that when I first got into cricket and when I first fell in love with cricket, I remember when I was, I think, 13, or something like between 13 and 15. I came home one day after playing cricket. I went to my dad and I said to my father, I want to go to India and I want to play cricket with Sachin Tendulkar and for India.
Okay.
And he turned around and said no.
Yeah.
He said
Like
no.
a typical dad.
Like a typical Indian father.
Yeah.
No, beta, we have come here for your education.
Yeah.
He said no, we've come to UK with this better life, better quality of life here. There's more opportunities and we don't have to suffer and struggle as much as we would be in India. And he said no. That's what I would change. As a young age, I'd probably go there and I'd just do whatever it takes, and I would just immerse myself into cricket, play more matches, practice more in the nets, look after my fitness, eat according to the sport, eat healthy, good food, prioritize recovery, work on the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things